welcome back to another episode of Frenemies, the podcast where sales and marketing talk. I have the honor to co-host this podcast with Mr. Sales himself, Ahmed Abarak, skilled, knowledgeable, and at times very cocky.
The expert, the perfect guy, the perfect salesman. Yeah,
That's what you
it's
said.
me.
And as you don't care to introduce me, my name is Julia, and I stand for marketing in this podcast. And today is the episode where Ahmed finally got me to talk about his favorite topic, AI. And of course, some of you are going to think, great that you guys picked this topic up about like 5 months too late. But the idea is that, now we had all a bit of time to play around with AI and to test different tools, to test how it works. So we really want to talk about what tools you can use and how you can use AI to be more efficient in your everyday work.
Exactly.
And we structured the tools and the purpose of AI. We're going to go through today based on content creation, design, and then a variety of other things on top of research. So those are the four areas
Yes.
we'll talk about. Let's start with research. What kind of AI tools do you use for research, and what kind of research do you use it for?
Actually, for research, as you know, the ChatGPT actually ChatGPT 3 is not enough with with their answers, but after the ChatGPT 4 announced, actually the reasoning, the answers that they gave, the accuracy of the data is much more accurate, but it has the limitation of being before 2021, so the data before. But lately there are some tools came out, so they called it more artificial general intelligence. So it prompts itself. You just give them some tasks, and they run online from your browser. So one of them is Agent GPT, and the second one of them is Camel AGI. And there's something that you need to have a little bit coding knowledge. It runs on your computer, Auto GPT. It's actually all these three tools are uh, really helpful to, yeah, let's say you want to create some more general. They can go into more specific tasks, but let's say you want to create more sales system, so you want to know your ICP, get some data, and analyze some data. You can give them tasks in an order, and it will prompts itself and tries to improve the outcome and saves it into your computer, gives it as a chat. And with chat GPT, actually, when you come to, besides from this, to use chat GPT, so what I see so far is I'm really, I'm using it daily. And what I realize, you have to be really know what to do. It's like, in which area do you want to make research? So, so if I don't have know anything about marketing, I cannot get a good marketing output from ChatGPT. But when I have a good sales knowledge, as I have, as you know, guys, and I get actually really what I want, the cadences, it's like the emails, everything is exactly what I need. Also, it's like when I want to find some research, it's also helpful. And lastly, I know the ChatGPT's UI is a little bit limited, so you can use a Chrome extension called Superpower GPT that it enhances ChatGPT's, on the website's capabilities, and you can actually save the prompts, download in a different file types, and you can search for your prompts and answers. So that's all from my side for
Yeah, I
now.
think you said a lot of good things that I would like to dive a bit deeper into, because one of the use cases for ChatGPT I have is research on user personas, more specifically on specific struggles or pains that user personas have in certain locations, different personas, and then also industries. So how I use this is basically building the query app. So for example, let's use your work, HR tools. So what difficulties do HR teams have at universities? and then dive into the next level, for example, specifically in the
Yeah,
US. And then you could dive into the next level of, is there a certain seasonality? Because I would just assume that they are more stressed and busier at the beginning of the semester, and so on. So these are like prompts you can ask and get a lot of like good information, and you can also ask ChatGPT to actually prioritize these and point out which of them is like the biggest pain, and also then in the next step finding out, so what happens if they don't act and if like they keep status quo, because of course in B2B your biggest competitor is actually the status quo. These are some
exactly.
prompts that I use. Another research area I use ChatGPT for is for kind of keyword research and topic research to see what information is already out there. So instead of, kind of the good old days and doing Google keyword research and topic research, I use ChatGPT. One big criticism I have, also as a content creator myself, though, is that the sources and references in ChatGPT are very flawed. So a lot of
Yeah,
times it is difficult to find the sources, and I've also read on a lot of cases where actually ChatGPT made up sources that didn't exist in real life. Because of course, the goal of ChatGPT is to find the answer that is most satisfactory to the person asking it. So there are
exactly,
cases,
exactly.
and I know they're working on that, and it might be less of a thing now than it was a few months ago. But it happened quite a lot where where it made up answers or references and sources.
Yeah,
So that's just one thing I want to highlight here, that that I see as a problem with ChatGPT, and why I also tend to, especially when it comes then to content production, I would actually give it sources and give it text, and then, for example, ask it to summarize that. But there's also,
exactly.
if you want to have a summary of an existing blog post and you give ChatGPT the link, if it can't access the blog post, it might write you a summary of that blog post based on the headline, and most likely it's going to be quite a
Exactly.
good summary, but of course it's going to be flawed and it's going to be missing a lot of things. So just some things to keep in
Exactly.
mind on how to use it, and to be very critical over what it gives you.
Exactly. And it's also, it's like safe thing to know, because most of the times, it's like follow a lot of content creators about AI, and most of them are and for bullshits. I don't know if I can say it, but it's like because they think some of them give some responses like videos about, it's like when you write a website's name, it has access. No, ChatGPT doesn't have internet access. You can give it through via some extensions, but it doesn't work properly for right now. And it they also, when you write give it a website URL, it actually takes the version of that website, if it exists in that area before 2021. It gives you information about that area, so at that time. So that's why be really careful about, so what you are going, so discuss more general topics, more general stuff. So that is on Earth also before 2021 September, I guess. Before September, it's really important with that. With the right resources, actually, the Camel AGI and the other tools that I mentioned, the Agent GPT. We will put the links in the description, and they will have access to and they will give you actually the right URLs if you want to, it's like add some resources as well. So you can use those as well, and don't think them because AGI. Most of the people think AGI is like, something scary. Actually, it's actually, it's it's not a direct AGI. So it's like an AGI means basically. So for those who don't know it, AGI is an AI that you see in the horror science fiction films. So it controls you. It decides that humanity is no longer necessary or something. AGI means that artificial general intelligence. So it prompts itself, it improves itself, and so it can say, it's like human beings are not necessary. But it's not at that stage. It's quite simple. There are so
Yeah, I
many
wouldn't even
flaws.
disagree with it.
For example, for the record, I love AI. So when in the future they want to destroy us or something, I am pro AI. Okay, I love AI. I sell AI based tools.
Anyhow, another area of for research that I found is called stability.ai, and it's basically an AI tool purpose made for product development. So basically, it can assess how your product could grow and could be more user friendly. What, like, for example, use cases there are to implement AI in the tool and things like that. So more on the product side, I find that tool very interesting to just scope out some ideas and see how it fits into the product roadmap. But I think then we have
I agree.
the topic of research covered. So let's dive into content creation. For content creation, I actually split it up in kind of the marketing content creation and then the sales content creation. So for marketing, there are already a lot of content creation AI tools out there. The three tools that I have used and can recommend is Copy AI, Write Sonic, and Writer.com. All of them have
Hmm.
the capabilities to produce both more long form, like blog posts, but also website copy, emails, and newsletters, as well as a bit more like reports if you add your data sets and your information into it. I think they work fine, but I wouldn't, just publish away whatever comes out of these tools. So also there, I personally have to say that I mean, especially when it comes to your own reflections and the thought leadership piece, there's of course a lack of AI at this point delivering that and reflecting on certain topics. If you just want to have a simple blog post that I don't know, puts together what other people already wrote, that works. But at the same time, how like much quality is gonna be in that blog post. So I would be a bit very
Exactly.
also when it comes to the website copy bit. Of course, like AI can be very good. Like the way I used it is, when I have already in the team created copy for the website, send it through AI and see what it does with it, how much it can make it clearer and shorten it, which of course is something
Yeah.
humans and also me
Mhm.
being quite outspoken at times struggle with. So of course that is something where it's very easy. One fun bit as well, both on Write Sonic and Copy AI, is that it can actually also suggest brand names and product names, which I've played
Yeah.
around a bit with. Yeah. I would say it's flat when you're coming from the marketer perspective, but it can give you good ideas and it can be a bit fun to play around and see if you get a new idea, or it can bring you in a new direction if you are looking for another brand name or you need a new name for a product that's coming out.
So actually, I used it for, it's like finding new names for sales fellowship services. And what I also realized for, it's like writing blog posts and how to use, Chat GPT on different tools on that. I came across with auto blogging AI. It's actually, created by a marketer. So he knows the exact prompts and data sets to feed AI because, as you know, Google punishes AI based content. So there are some AI detectors out there. So when you write on Google, you can find few. When you create some articles, you can test it if they are uh, AI based or human generated content. It can, make the detection, and actually you can generate a content that passes AI detectors. And auto blogging AI gives you the ability to create, image from the AI, an AI image, and content that is scalable for your, also especially for small business owners like me, like Ahmet. So that would be really useful. And what I use for content generation, there is a tool called meme AI, or meme something AI. I will put the URL in the AI in the description. You can upload an image of yourself and says the relevant topic, like, so B2B sales, and it creates memes upon this image. And I tested it, it's actually quite good. It's like it's really good on that. So if you want to, attract your prospects and use your image of yourself within, it's like with a meme. Actually, I use this strategy to, it's like expand my network on LinkedIn because I'm a funny guy. It's like it's serious, but I'm a funny guy, so everyone laughs at me.
Well, apparently not that funny because you need AI to create a meme. So
Yeah, it's like I feel like it's like after I'm I'm a huge fan, so I really make a research of new tools, etc. I feel sometimes like it's like writing something that is it's like some repetitive work. Doing some repetitive work is so unnecessary right now because there is a tool for that. There is, for example, we will comment in a bit with other tools, but let's stay in the content creation area. So next we have Home AI. Actually, it's free right now in a beta phase. You write, give a prompt that you want to create a presentation, for example, so for startup pitch, or it's like the client meeting. You give the exact prompt and the AI creates a really good presentation in 2 minutes. It is a huge thing. Actually, I'm using it for it, like just with this, because you can create a personalized presentation for your each of your customers, so, or prospect calls, or demo call. It's like content creation for sales is like our job is mostly is in research part. You can use for content creation, so writing emails, etc. As I mentioned, you can use Chat GPT or the other tools.
yeah, actually, I have two tools that are more specialized on sales email creation, and that is Lavender, which of course is very popular and very known.
Yeah,
And there's also
yeah,
SmartWriter AI. SmartWriter AI has to focus on personalization. So basically, they do all of the research part already built into the AI. So you actually get a highly personalized email that personalizes, that's at least what they promise, the right aspects of what this user persona or this person like needs and has the highest priority on.
yeah. I actually use those AI tools in a way. So for personalized first lines, because so most of the times you have to create a really short email in your first email, and the first line should be personalized according to so people's needs or the prospects' personality. But most of them doesn't give. Actually, they ended up because they use. Let's understand one thing. So most of those AI tools use ChatGPT's API. So they just, it's like tweak those little bit to give much better answers. But the main tool this is GPT 3.5 Turbo. It's like GPT 3 still. And GPT 3 is not good enough to generate reasonable response at scale. So this is one thing. So this is a main problem because that then in order to keep them in order, most of the developers arrange them in a way to generate, even with the personalization, they generate more general response like, "Hey Julia, I saw that you work at this company for 2 years." It's not a personalization. It's like when I read something like this, I because I write those stuff, so I can immediately recognize those. It's not a personalization. So what? Yeah, okay. It's like it's not personalization. Personalization is something that is uh you go more deep. So it's like you have to show more genuine approach. So that's why it's not AI is for that space not ready yet. So it will be there. So that's why I use those tools to get feedback and make them better, but it's not ready to use at scale.
Yes. And now we come to the design part. So how to or the tools to use to create design AI based and make it a bit more efficient. One thing I've just tested last week is called Lumen 5. And basically, what it does is you can put in the URL of a blog post and it will create a
Yeah.
short video of that blog post. If you use it for free, which is available, of course, there are limitations on how much branded it can be and things like that. But there's generally a lot of ways to like personalize and customize it. So I found that quite a cool tool to, scale content up and have different content formats without needing a bigger team and without needing to have design and content and so on, involved.
Exactly.
So that's something really cool.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, for design creation, now I can mention Canva.
Yeah, our
Because,
favorite
it's like
tool.
as a sales guy. So it's like it's already think about this, it's like because there are now tons of companies out there, startups out there coming with AI features that, but they don't. In order to have a really good AI tool, you need to have that database. So you have to have profession in that area. And right now, for example, when Canva gets a new, so it starts with new features with AI, they really work because Canva is already a market leader on that stuff. So it's really easy to use. It's like even a 5-year-old kid can use it, and it's like also me too as sales guy. And it's really nice to have something like this. And with the additional AI tools, like it's like deleting the background. It has a background remover, but it's more advanced now. You can change your outfit within, so from an image. It's like I can just like it's now orange, so I can make it black, so to match Julia, for example. It's like there's tons of stuff you can change. What you have in your hand, for example, you can change everything regarding to images. So this for design creation, that's why I use definitely Canva on that. There are some other tools like so that helps design creation, the image creators, as I can say it. It's like there are Mid Journey is really Dolly. They are really famous. So Dolly, Mid Journey, Stable Diffusion, but they are comes with the money. There are some free versions for you. For example, the free version of Mid Journey is the Blue Willow. So it's the same actually. It has the similar AI generator, so you can use Willow if you don't want to pay for Mid Journey.
I have another tool there that is called runwayml.com. It is mainly
Oh,
focused on video, but also imagery. It's quite cool, so you can erase things in videos, which otherwise is quite difficult to do. You can actually create text to image. So instead of going on Shutterstock or whatever you're using and trying to find a perfect image, you can write out what kind of image you need, and it either creates it or finds it for you. That is quite cool. You can turn any video into slow motion. And you can also infinitely expand images. So there are some really cool capabilities in there on the design
yeah,
part.
it's huge.
And the other one, not so much focused on sales or content design or sales or marketing design, but more on UI. There's uisart.io, which is really, really cool for the UI based things. So you can actually have turn screenshots into designs and hand drawn sketches into wireframes, which is amazing if you don't have a massive UI team. That's super, super smooth. And then you can also, have UI designs with very simple text and things like that. So for the UI part, and if you're a small marketing team, I can recommend that as well. It has really cool capabilities that are very useful.
So we can go to the other part. So I don't have anything else. Creation.
Yes, now we have this long undefined other segment of other AI fun stuff we need.
So first, I want to start. So first, the Notion. I know we all know Notion, but with the AI future, it is huge. It is a huge deal because you can create any template, anything. So if you want to, it's like brainstorm or create a template for a project, it's like with all the additional steps, you just talk to AI. You don't create one by one for each section. So that would be my number one on other sections. So what is yours?
For me, on the other section, number one is, so I do a lot of like data visualizations and graphs and stuff like that, and ChatGPT is not very good with that. But very smart people just developed a tool called Chart GPT, where you just prompt in your numbers and it actually gives you the graphs, which is really, really cool for simpler things. because a lot of times you sit with and you have to like figure out your data, filter it and stuff, to then get to the graph. So it can be a bit, it can take a little bit longer. And for that, it's really cool. It is a bit constrained. So you can't use too many data points and you can't like have three axes and stuff like that. But it's useful for simpler graphs.
So great. Actually, for alternative to Notion, I also use something called Tascade. It has also an AI feature, so project management tool like Notion, but it has a better UI. Actually, it's more easier to use. Notion is slow at some stages, so when you have too many data, they are more faster on that. And I also want to specifically mention something like for video editing, the Descript. Descript is something amazing because when you upload your videos, it creates an automatic transcription. When you like delete some, it automatically knows the filler words that you use, and we use it a lot. We use it a lot, and it detects all those stuff, 20, 25 filler words, and you can actually delete parts, and it will be automatically. It also creates a natural. Traction to a new scene, and it also has the ability when you upload your voice in 2 3 minute sections, it creates your voice as well, so you can actually add some sentences. Let's say I forget to say about this thing, you can add it. It will be your voice there.
Wait, does this mean I don't actually need you on the podcast anymore? Does this mean I can just have this created?
Actually, it's like with 13 part, so you can like create a version of myself, like, it's like Julia is great, marketing is great, sales sucks, marketing is great. I can say all the time with this, it's like you can create a podcast just based on this.
No, you didn't. You give me just an idea.
And it's also the pricing, just 1 minute, just like the pricing is just $24 a month. So it's nothing, so it's nothing compared to the time that it saves for you. That's
Yeah, I just wanted to say I also have a tool for text to voice, which is really practical, of course, if you do on demand demos or you do like product videos and stuff like that. So you actually don't need to have voiceovers, but you have AI produce the voice. The tool is called Well Said Labs. And I think it's pretty cool because, of course, you get a very nice voiceover with very specific prompts in the course of 2 minutes. So that is a massive advantage to like using Upwork and hiring like voiceovers or doing it yourself and editing. So I can recommend that.
Yeah. Actually, there are some tools that, it's not quite ready yet. That's why I didn't mention it yet. It turns your voice into something else in real time. It's right now it does it with, it's like 6 second delay. But actually, I can sound like Donald Trump, or I don't know, whenever Elon Musk or someone else that is all really famous. So we are entering an area that could be, we cannot decide if it's fake or real. So we can just create a fake reality upon everything.
Yeah, maybe let's not slide into
I
this
can create a fake
discussion.
Julia.
I think the real one is already plenty. Okay, so the
Yeah.
last one I have in the other section is on coding. GitHub came out with the GitHub Copilot, which helps with coding. Um, so to give proper prompts and to get the outcome you need to have coding language. Like it won't be able to write an entire line of code, for example, if you need to change something in the look of your website and you
Yeah.
need HTML code. So it's not going to be helpful if you don't come with the technical knowledge yourself. But if you have the technical knowledge and you know what you want to achieve and how to give the proper prompts, this can go faster. And I have used it for the purpose of just editing small snippets of code instead of like writing to our developers, and thought that was really really helpful.
Yeah. I'm an early user of GitHub Copilot, because I'm also, it's like website development enthusiast, so front end side. And the time it saves for developer is huge.
Yeah.
It's really huge. It's not like everyone was actually, it's like the tech worlds, the programmers are more active on Twitter, and they were like, it's like blown out. So when this came out, it's like, it's like it will take our jobs, and I was like, we will not give our jobs back to AI. But it seems with, it's like with the recent advancements, it eliminates actually. It will not eliminate. It will eliminate around 300 million people's jobs, but not the ones that are needs expertise in some areas. So marketing and sales is safe for now.
Yes, but I mean, also there. I mean, the past days researching the things for today, I ended up in quite some rabbit holes on Reddit. So I've also read about
Oh,
quite a lot of cases on GitHub Copilot where the code wasn't usable in the way it brought it out, and it needed quite
yeah,
a lot of restructuring and rephrasing work. So it's right now I don't think it's there where it replaces, but I mean for sure it will come, and then Ahmed is going to be the
good.
first one going.
Or Julia. I mean, I don't know. Let's
Okay,
see who got fired. Who will get fired first from AI? So
let's ask
if we
ChatGPT.
continue this podcast.
Anything else to add, Ahmed?
Actually, Adobe Sound as well. So Adobe creates insane tools about AI. They all need, it's like you have to join the wait list. But Adobe Sound for make your sound more clear for your recordings. It just you can do it on their website, but they have something like Adobe Podcast as well. You have to join the wait list. There are Bard from Google, but Bard is really it's like nothing compared to ChatGPT for now, but it will be there. So everyone, it's like industrial revolution. Most people doesn't seem to understand that, but it will not take it's like eliminate everything, but it will eliminate the repetitive tasks in our lives, and we can actually get more creative at a stage that it's like I will not get worried about sending a follow-up email after a meeting, demo call. And also it will create a demo account automatically in our system, then writes an email, sends it to the prospect. I will just focus on giving a real good demo, or it's like when negotiating about something, or it's like when you make prospecting, our prospecting efforts, we will just concentrate on how to get really creative on reaching out to clients, customers. We can focus more on the calls, on that ad. So it's like it will create an era that is really useful. It's not the blockchain or something, because it's not cheap. So the new revolution is AI. So, and I love that.
I just a quick thesis on this from me. I have a feeling in the next year, spelling mistakes are going to be a big thing to actually show that it's human generated. So I feel like
Yeah.
in just a few months, spelling mistakes are going to be like you need to have this, so people actually open the email so they know it wasn't just sent by AI.
But it actually you can create, command prompt AI to add some spelling mistakes time to time as well. You can add emojis. It's like it's. Also, most people think like AI generated. You see, for example, some AI generated comments on LinkedIn. People think, oh, the guy gives effort to add some emojis. No, you can ask AI to add some emojis as well. You can train it on anything. So it's like it will beat any expectation, any detectors on that. So that's why be useful, be relevant, make more sales.
And as always, with these wise words from Ahmed Abarak, we'll finish this episode and talk to you next week.